All right, welcome back. Our phone lines went down, and so we're going to have to get Mike Hammond of Gun Owners of America the old-fashioned way. Here we go. Mike, welcome back to the broadcast. Thank you for being with us. Here's a case. This is from your own social media page of Gun Owners of America, and it says, in our case with Texas against the ATF's latest tyrannical rule, the judge has ordered oral arguments for this Thursday, and here is a screenshot. Tell us about this case and why it's so important, will you, Mike?
Well, the case deals with Biden efforts to define universal background checks in such a way that no one can tell whether or not they're violating the law or not. Normally, when I went to law school, we had what we called the void for vagueness doctrine, and that is that in order to go to prison, you had to know or approximately know that you were violating the law. If you needed a gun license for 50 guns, then you knew it was 50 guns. If you needed a gun license for 100 guns, you knew it was 100 guns. If you needed a gun license for one gun, you knew it was one gun. Biden is trying to sort of pull the wool over our eyes. He's creating a rule in which he says, well, we're not going to tell you how many guns you have to have in order to be required to have a license, but we'll send you to prison if you violate the number that only we know.
And so why do you think the judge has been so apt to grant you this motion?
Well, the judge apparently is not an anti-gun judge, unlike some in this country. He is, I think, sympathetic to our case. He has told BATF that it has to respond to our complaint today at 5 o'clock. That is about 3 or 4 hours ago. And that we have to respond by tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And oral arguments are going to be held on Thursday morning. So presumably, he thinks that the case is sufficiently important so that it is worthwhile in order to expedite it.
So again, the judge in our lawsuit against ATF's universal registration check rule has agreed to our request for an expedited briefing schedule.
Yes. On Thursday, he's indicated that the submission schedule is going to be accelerated to the point in which he can hear oral arguments on Thursday.
So the average person listening tonight, again, remind them how this could impact them.
If you have a gun and one gun and you put it up for sale, then it may very well be that you are violating the law by virtue of putting up a single gun. And the argument would be the BATF would come in and say, well, you're conducting a gun business. It basically doesn't define what a gun business is, but it says that you can go to prison if you sell a gun, sell as few as a single gun without a license, and BATF in retrospect decides that you are a gun business.
And, of course, the goal and the objective here is to scare people.
To confuse people to the point in which they are terrified to purchase a single gun or sell a single gun for purposes because they don't know whether they're going to go to prison, because they don't know what the law is, because the federal government has made it illegal to do things without telling them what the law is.
What other gun things are going on right now that you need to update us on, Mike?
Yeah, well, along the same lines, Brian Malinowski, the head of the Bill and Hillary Clinton Airport in
Little Rock,
in Little Rock, was shot to death. The reason that he was shot to death is the ATF conducted a raid at 6 o'clock in the morning on his house, and incidentally, they always conduct these raids at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. They never do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the ATF raided his home at 6 o'clock in the morning, and when they put tape over his doorbell so he could not see who was ringing his doorbell, and when he came to the door, not surprisingly, with his firearms, they shot him to death. It's not just anyone, it's the head of the Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton airport in Little Rock. They shot him to death. And we have said for a long time that this is where these red flag laws are leading, that ultimately people are going to be killed because BATF, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, rings their doorbell at 3 o'clock in the morning, and when they think that they need to be armed in order to protect themselves, BATF shoots them to death.
And he got shot right in the head, And I guess I read, correct me if I'm wrong, but I read that he may have been selling as a side hobby, going to some gun shows and selling some guns as a hobby.
Well, that's the point. You don't know how many guns you can sell before BATF comes to your door at 3 o'clock in the morning. It turns out that the head of the airport in Little Rock didn't know we were selling too many guns, and therefore his doorbell was rang at early in the morning.
Wouldn't this have been a perfect?
He was shot to death.
Wouldn't this been a perfect example where the ATF should just call him up? I mean, obviously, they know who he is. They know his number. They can get it and say,
"Hey, you would think so.
Can we stop by and have a conversation with you at your office or something?" Right?
Yeah, you would think so. But the reason BATF shows up at people's doors in the middle of the night is to terrify them and to make it clear that if you end up selling or buying too many guns, that your life may be in danger.
What about the Air Force? I saw the video. It's pretty disturbing. The young black Air Forceman, who I guess has quite a wonderful record, was at a hotel. Or his apartment, I should say. His apartment looked like a hotel, but it was an apartment. And someone reported what sounded like domestic abuse. The police go to the wrong door, and they're banging on the door and banging on the door. He didn't hear, apparently, I guess, maybe they did it, who they were. He again felt like maybe he should go to the door armed. So this Air Force guy goes to the door with his gun next to him, down pointed at the ground, it looked like from the video I saw, Mike. And, man, he gets shot like 6 times and killed him.
It happened in Ferndale, Maryland, to Gary Willis. And frankly, this should alarm a lot of people, it most frequently happens with respect to blacks. who have the audacity of exercising their constitutional right to be armed, contrary to the Jim Crow laws, which previously prohibited that, and who basically end up being shot to death. I mean, it's not the first time it's happened. It's not the second time it's happened. It's happened very frequently, and most often it happens to people who are members of ethnic minorities.
And apparently they were even knocking on the wrong door. They weren't even at the right door.
Yeah, that happened in Louisville as well. People knocking at agents knocking at the wrong doors and ending up killing someone because he was wrong racial makeup.
Gunowners.org, gunowners.org. What do you want to tell our listening friends about your organization before we let you go, Mike?
Well, we're the no compromise pro-gun organization who are defending your constitutional rights in Washington, and frequently we are the most aggressive, and frequently we are the only ones who are standing at the breach in order to protect the Constitution. So membership is only $25 a year. So it's a good investment, and we would urge you to log onto our website and join up.
Gunowners.org is where you can do that. Gunowners.org. Mike Hammond in the office, folks, tonight at what is 9/11 Eastern Standard. The man is burning the candle at both ends. As always, Mike, thanks for being with us.
Sure.
Mike,
thank you for having me, Brandon.
You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for being here. Mike Hammond of gunowners.org checking in. Gunowners.org.
Consumers often ask, what should I expect when I take the Bella Grace elixir? And the answer's varied. It really depends on what your health and wellness needs are. I would consider this as your foundational core product for a whole range of health and wellness issues. Let me give you a few examples. If you're a little bit older and you have some joint health issues, some problems with mobility and discomfort, the elixir is going to be your best friend. If you have some skin health issues, wrinkles, hydration, aging, all of those elements are going to be benefited from the elixir, including age spots. Now, if you're in a younger demographic, maybe visual health is where you need some assistance. Eye fatigue, dry eyes, all of those are going to be benefited by the elixir. It's a core product because it benefits so many.